Okay, here we go. We got a J35, J37. It's actually 2013 Honda MDX SUV V6. It's basically got a misfire all the time on cylinders 1 and 5. Looked at it, and the shop wanted to put an engine computer in it. I wanted to look at it further before we did that. At that point, I realized that we had a phantom misfire. I've only seen this once before, and I'm sure there's guys that have seen this way more than me, but cylinder 1 and 5, I realized pretty quickly, if you were counting misfires, the second you fired it up, it could be hot or cold, it immediately counted misfires evenly on 1 and 5. Now, I go and I look at injector pulse width on 1 and 5, they look fine. Check some other stuff out, and I was quickly realizing that there was no misfire the first 10 seconds, but it was counting misfires at a very high rate. So the computer was counting misfires for the first 10 seconds that weren't even there. Here's a relative compression, it looked good. There's other stuff obviously to check, but did check the relative. Verified spark was good, injector pulse, all was okay within that first 10 seconds, but yet we're counting misfires. Now, it seemed like once it reached 255 counts of misfires on 1 and 5, that's when it shut off injectors 1 and 5 at the same time. Kind of rules out any, injector wiring issues or driver issues, in my opinion. Um, Now, if you would have put a computer in it and programmed it, yeah, it would have fixed it. But in the end, it's the algorithm, misfire correlation system that needs to be cleared out. And I have yet to see any other car company that requires that. There's plenty that some other car companies might have the option to clear it out, but yeah, I've never had to do that except for Honda and Acura, and this is a great example of one with a phantom misfire due to the basics of, I guess they're not, self-clearing. And I'm assuming what happens is it had misfires before, and it's accounting for the changes in crankshaft speed as being normal, and then it sees proper speed, and then it must assume that that's a misfire. So then it's shutting down cylinders or shutting down the previously good cylinders. I'm not quite sure, but regardless, there was a misfire caused by basically software in the engine computer and not clearing that and not relearning the crank position. So looking at this right now, we have the crankshaft you see, obviously, and camshaft in cylinder 1. The humps right here, that was from a math channel measuring frequency or speed of the crankshaft position sensor on the picoscope. So it's measuring over time the acceleration of each cylinder, um, and how fast each cylinder is contributing. Now here you see 1 and 5 were actually not contributing, and I'll show you in more detail how I determine that. But at this point, the computer is causing the misfire. The the information in the service manual, if you read closely, I think there was somewhere where it said after performing misfire code repairs, always perform crankshaft uh, position misfire clearing. And I can't think of the exact nomenclature, but it's going to be at the end of the video. Okay, cylinder 1 coil, that's our reference, so we know the firing order and cylinder positions. And then I laid it out on top here. You see cylinder 1 and cylinder 5 repeatedly are not contributing power on the power stroke based on the speed of the crankshaft and the math channel. Now, this is the first 10 seconds before it shuts down 1 and 5. Every cylinder is contributing, as in every hump is missing any power strokes or acceleration. It's all there for each cylinder. So it was counting misfires on this computer, and they weren't even misfiring cylinders. So now I'm really understanding why you manually have to clear out the counter system. If you look into patent papers, there's a lot of different patents for misfire detection in the last 30 years from car companies. Everyone has their own unique take on misfire determination, and they're slightly different potentially. Here's that information in the scan tool, and I'll pull it back up. Crank pattern clear is what it's called, and it erases the data stored in the computer. And without doing that, it was going to continuously misfire. Now, replacing the computer would have fixed it as well. Bigger expense, but I guess that would have fixed it as well. In the end, it just needed a reset of the crank pattern, and that was it. After they fixed it, I think it had a coil or spark plug issue originally, but yeah, clearing that fixed it.